Hello everyone, my name is Lizzie and today I'm going to talk about what holistic health is, especially for beginners. If you hear me say Hub of the Heart, that is basically our holistic health lifestyle that has really just changed the way that we connect our mind, body, and our soul. So we're going to jump right into it. What is holistic? So a lot of people think that holistic means natural, and you do natural things if you want to be a little bit more centered and have your mind, body, and soul act as an ecosystem versus the separate entities. So for example, so if you go to a masseuse, you go get your massage, right? You're probably doing it to relax, or maybe you have a very stressful, labor-intensive job where you just have these aches, or you just want to do it just to relax from your life. Okay, so maybe when you lay down on the bed, the masseuse, if they really want to help you and serve you, I believe that they're going to ask you a couple questions, not just about your physical body, but about how much stress you have, which would be your mind, right? Or are you doing anything that you maybe aren't normally doing? Are you sleeping in these different positions? Just different questions that they're gonna come to a conclusion of, okay, this is not only a physical knot, this is a mental knot, okay? And then we'll bring in the spiritual side, and you would be surprised how much your spiritual or your soul have to do with your mind and your body. So we'll just jump right in, okay? So when your mind, body, and your soul are communicating or connecting like an ecosystem versus the separate entities, your life is going to be a little bit more, I wouldn't say balanced, because we're always looking for just more balance in our life, but just more, just a little bit easier, I guess. So for example, so if you have so we'll start with the first thing, okay? Mind. If you have mindfulness, right, you're gonna have less anxiety and depression because you're gonna be living more in the moment. You're gonna be more mindful. Okay, so anxiety and depression is the same thing. One is focusing on past experiences and one is focusing on the future. Okay, so the future is going to be anxiety. You're anxious about what's to come, the unknown, or things that you have to get done, right? That maybe you just don't believe you can do it. And then you have depression, which is thinking about the past. So maybe thinking about those past failures, that shame, that guilt, right? Either one, we're not focused on the present, right? So we're always focused on the past or the future, okay? But if you're actually in the present moment, then you're gonna be a lot less anxious or depressed, okay? And when you are, if you've ever struggled with anxiety or depression, I have, there is a physical side to it. So it's not just, oh, my mind is just racing and it doesn't affect my body at all. That is a lie. It 100% does affect your body, okay? And it will eventually affect your soul and who you really believe that you are, okay? Because we are all spiritual beings. Whether you believe that or not, we all have a soul and we all have something more than just a mind and a body, okay? So connecting all of those are going to just bring you more into what God really intended you to be initially, okay? So we'll go into body. Body is, I think people would say, is the easiest thing because it's the physical side. It's what we can actually see. However, I think that it's a side effect of what's really going on with our soul and our mind. So if you think about something that you're putting in and on your body, right, it's going to affect you in a lot of different ways. So we know as a society that when we eat things that are alive, we're going to feel more alive, right? So if we ate more vegetables versus animal products, say dead carcass like steak or fish or chicken, we're going to feel more energy. I've never eaten a piece of steak or even like the smallest steak, right? Like the leanest steak. I've never sat there and eaten a steak and said, wow, I have so much energy right now. I've never had that. Even with eggs or tuna, I've just never had that experience unless it was like with a salad or if I had some juice on the side, like maybe, but never just sitting there eating like, you know, potatoes. I mean, potatoes are awesome, but if you're having like just that meat and potato meal every single time, you're not gonna feel as much energy as if you were to be eating something that's actually alive, like a plant. A plant has amazing nutrients, okay? Protein is not a nutrient. I just want everyone to understand that. Protein is protein. Everything kind of has protein, okay? But that's not the only thing that we need for our bodies. We need minerals, we need nutrients, we need vitamins, we need things that are coming from the earth to stabilize our bodies, because our bodies are more like plants than animals. I know it's a weird concept to understand. Fact check that one. Do not take my word for it. Please fact check everything. So if we are using products that are from the earth versus like full of just animal products or even food, then we're not gonna be aligned with what our DNA needs and who we are, okay? So for example, as a society, we eat eggs for breakfast, chicken or turkey or fish for lunch, and then we have fish, chicken, or beef for dinner. So there's 3 meals, and on top of all of those, we're eating dairy. We're just putting dairy all over that. We're putting cheese, we're putting cottage cheese, we're putting creamer, we're putting all of the things. We're just dousing so much dairy on top of that, right? And then we're using a lot of processed, like really processed, like loads of fake sugar, just all of the things. So we're constantly in this state of, I'm wrecked. I'm like totally hijacked, right? So when you're not eating something for your body that's gonna support it, your hormones are gonna be jacked. Or that means that our moods are gonna be jacked. That means that our minds are just gonna be just completely wrecked, right? If you've noticed, every time you eat something that really is good for you, you're gonna feel a lot of energy. And that's gonna be the biggest inclination that, okay, that was really good for me. Okay, awesome. And you usually get energy because our bodies need fuel. Food is supposed to be fuel, not just fun or filling me up. And if you feel full for longer than 3 hours after you eat a meal, chances are that meal did not support you and did not give you energy. Okay, so those are some things to look at, okay? Now, that's the food side. So let's think about when you're putting products on your body that are toxic for you. Okay, so the biggest word to look for when you're looking at ingredients is gonna be the F word, fragrance. So the F word, fragrance, means that it is a word that the company is using as their scent, right? That their signature scent, like that shampoo that they literally put on little babies in the hospital. That that smell, it's it's by that company, and you're like, oh, that's the smell, that's the baby shampoo smell, right? So for example, someone like that company, they don't have to disclose what is in their signature scent because it's a trade secret, right? They don't want anyone to steal their signature scent and be like, this brand is way less expensive and it has the same smell. Like, they don't want that, right? So because they are protected in that trade secret, they don't have to disclose what's in their products. So when you see like, oh, all natural products and this and that, and then the word fragrance, run for the hills, because in that word fragrance there can be over hundreds of different, if not thousands of different chemicals, toxic chemicals that don't ever need to be disclosed, okay? So you can go all day long and say that you're natural and you're green and all this stuff, but then when you have fragrance, it's the funniest thing to me, and people are like, it's natural. No, there's nothing natural about the word fragrance, okay? Especially when you're wearing literally just fragrance, like perfume, fumes, okay? There's nothing cute or natural or safe about the word fumes. Okay, so let's just remember that. So again, when you're putting something toxic on your largest organ, which is your skin, it is going into your bloodstream, whether you think it is or not, it is. The faster way that it's actually going into our bloodstream is when we breathe something in, okay? When you're inhaling something, you are breathing that in, and it's going into your bloodstream actually faster than it's going in through your skin, okay? It's going in either way, but it's just going in faster when you breathe it in. So when you have something like an air freshener or those bathroom toilet poo-poo sprays or whatever, or those plugins or candles, you are literally overloading your body with toxins, okay? So now that it's going into your bloodstream, and I hope that this is a vivid picture, so that you can kind of, I'm a visual learner, so I wish that I could have like a little thing that's kind of just showing you, and I'm sure that I'll evolve to that point. I'm very passionate about this subject, but as it's going into your bloodstream, it is hijacking everything, including your attention span, your hormones, your immune system, your intestines, your just everything, right? I know that if I walk into a room that has a plug-in or a candle or all of the above, usually in this society, I will literally, like, my eyes will turn red because I'm intoxicated. There's toxins going into my body, and I'm so foggy, I can't even function, and I have a migraine. My head is throbbing, like as if you were kind of in like a bad horror movie where you're like, oh, got like bombed, right? Like that's what it feels like to me. And I kid you not, like I don't use, I mean, I'm not so crazy to where I'm like, okay, let me not use anything that has this or that, but I try to be a little bit more natural, using like essential oils, and not burning candles. When you burn a candle, it's like smoking a pack of cigarettes. When you burn a candle for 6 hours, it is the same equivalency as smoking a pack of cigarettes. So just kind of getting that, you know, that visual in your head. So that's body. So whatever you put in and on your body affects you, okay? Now, if we're not physically active and we're not exerting, like God made our arms and our legs, like if you look at the way he made all of the creatures on the earth, they're all specifically made for different things. Like snakes, they're on the floor, right? They stay on the floor. Birds, they don't really have like a lot going on, like the ones that fly, but they have really big wings, right? So if you look at us, we're made in the creation of God, right? But like if you look at like our arms and our legs and our minds and everything, like we're made to be active. Okay, we're made to create, we're made to do a lot of different things. So if you're not aligned with what you were literally put on this earth to do, which is to move around and do stuff, you will feel like your ecosystem is being hijacked, right? It's out of whack, okay? So activity, if you get 30 minutes a day of activity, it's gonna be way better for you than if you didn't, right? So just a little rule of thumb, like I don't do a lot of activity during the day. Like I go to the gym a couple times a week, okay? And I'll do like body pump classes, but for the most part, I'm trying to get some activity, whether it's just walking with my family, or if it's just doing a quick set of like 100 jumping jacks, 100 sit-ups, and some push-ups. Like just a little here, a little there, but 30 minutes a day, it'll be so good for your mind and your body. Okay, so that was our body. The last thing, a part of the ecosystem, is soul. A lot of people kind of overlook this, and it's the best example that I can honestly say is when you are not aligned with what your purpose is in life, you can tell. Like when I meet someone, I love to like kind of like look into their soul and kind of figure out like, what did God put them on this earth to do. Like, you can just tell, and if it's forced, then you can tell too. But just knowing what talent you have that God has given you, and we all have different talents, right? But if you know what talent God has given you and you go with it, it's natural. Like, you get that strength from God, that confidence. You don't have imposter syndrome. For me, I think that my gift, because I've just always loved to just like kind of simplify things and communicate them. I think that He made me to be a communicator. And if you look back through my life, I wouldn't say that because I had public speaking fear, right? Which we all do. But I feel like that's kind of the enemy trying to hold you back from what God really wanted you to be. Also, I was an alcoholic. So when you are under the influence of addiction, your self-confidence is gone. You feel like you don't want anyone to be around you. You don't want anyone close in your circle because they're going to find out those secrets, and they're going to find out that you're not right. But those are the lies that the enemy tells us. Okay. So when you're in tune with your higher power, and I'm not going to tell you that, go find your higher power. It might be that tree. It might be the clouds. It might be the sun. I'm going to be really honest with you, and I'm very bold in my faith. Your higher power is through God. Okay. So my higher power is Jesus Christ. Okay. When you are 100% about who your higher power is, and it's not that tree over there, and it's not the stars, and it's not numbers, and it's not all these different, things, these idols that people like to say are their higher powers. When you know who your higher power is, then you will know what your purpose is in life. Okay. So I will never sit here and tell you that you should go do yoga and find your higher power, or mantras, or manifestations. I don't believe that. And I feel like there's a disconnect when it comes to holistic and faith. I feel like I've been watching a couple people on YouTube, and I can't find a lot of people that are putting faith in holistic. Not just faith, but Jesus Christ as your higher power. Most of it is yoga related and mantras and stuff, which is, I think that's I think that's unfortunate, because I've just always wanted to align my mind, body, and soul, and my soul with God. But if someone's looking for that, they can't really find that out there. So I hope that I fill that gap. That's kind of why I like to share the things that I do with my mind, body, and soul. And if you guys want to connect on a regular basis, you guys can please hit the subscribe button, but please, like this video. And if you feel like you got a lot from it, please, or if you got a little bit from it or one thing, please let me know in the comments. But share this with someone that would definitely benefit from it. And if I'm going crazy and there's people out there doing, holistic with God at the center, I would love to see that community too. So that's all I have. Again, my name is Lizzie with Hub of the Heart. Hub of the Heart is connecting what you do with your mind, body, and soul. Everything that we do has to do with our hearts. So what is at the hub of your heart? Okay, so